Well, we do have some breaking news to get to tonight. Secretary of State Antony Blinken just called off a meeting with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov planned for Thursday after Russia invaded Ukraine. President Biden also delivered remarks earlier about the escalating crisis. Take a listen.
This is the beginning of a Russian invasion of Ukraine. This is a flagrant violation of international law and demands a firm response from the international community. So today, I'm announcing the first tranche of sanctions to impose costs on Russia in response to their actions yesterday.
Yeah, interesting. A lot of tough talk today, which wasn't the case yesterday. He also made a major announcement about Russia's Nord Stream 2 pipeline and rising gas prices here at home. Take a listen to that.
And because of Russia's actions, we've worked with Germany to ensure Nord Stream 2 will not, as I promised, will not move forward. Defending freedom will have cost for us as well and here at home. I'm going to take robust action to make sure the pain of our sanctions is targeted at the Russian economy, not ours.
But Biden is also continuing to urge diplomacy with Russia. Listen to this.
We have no intention of fighting Russia. The United States and our allies and partners remain open to diplomacy if it is serious. When all is said and done, we're going to judge Russia by its actions, not its words.
It's interesting here because he, like you said, he has trying to have all this tough talk, but he hasn't been tough with his actions, which is a concern. And obviously, Putin has known this all along that we're going to put sanctions on them. So he still isn't choosing to invade.
Look, number one, they greenlit Nord Stream 2 at the outset of this administration. Yes. They were the ones who went soft on them from the beginning. Number two, they're acting like they went tough. It was the Germans who cut off Nord Stream earlier, and then Biden just said, yeah, we agree. So let's be clear as to who's doing the leading and who's doing the following. I mean, this is ridiculous. By the way, we all can remember when President Biden said last month that the U.S. will respond according to what Russia does. Take a listen to what he said.
Russia will be held accountable if it invades, and it depends on what it does. It's one thing if it's a minor incursion and then we end up having a fight about what to do and not do, et cetera.
I think those words, Sean, were an insight into what the administration has been saying all along till they shifted this morning, not acting like it's a big deal that Russia
took two
was
provinces.
invading. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and then it was like, what's a big deal or not? What's a minor incursion? And that they tried to walk it back after that press conference about what minor was. And then even last night, they kept saying minor, minor, minor. And then today, and they were saying it wasn't an invasion. And then the Deputy National Security Advisor this morning started saying, oh, it's an invasion.
Right. And do you also remember what candidate Biden said back in 2019? Listen to this.
Putin knows if I am president of the United States, his days of tyranny and trying to intimidate the United States and those in Eastern Europe are over. I'm going to stand up to him. He's a bully, just like the president. And I know he doesn't want me to be president, but to tell you what, when I'm president, things are going to change.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to take another place. Like he took Crimea the first time, he's just going to take something else. I mean, well,
just acting like he's going to be tough and then not being tough. All right, well, we've got breaking team coverage on the very latest. London correspondent Ollie Barrett is tracking Boris Johnson's response to Russia entering Ukraine. But first, correspondent Sarah Williamson is live on the ground in Kyiv. Sarah, what's been the reaction tonight in Ukraine?
Yes, good afternoon, good evening rather, Sean and Lindsay. It was really to my surprise that this speech from President Biden was everywhere tonight in Kyiv, a city which has really been somewhat removed from the crisis, but tonight it was a different story. But first, I want to start with the address from President Zelensky, who released a pre-recorded speech, which in no way really minimized the severity of the situation, which is something that many people really believe believe he tends to do. He began by expressing his profound gratitude to President Biden and the West for imposing these sanctions against Russia for their actions. Now, the main takeaways that really stood out to me was that he went ahead and said that the Ukrainian military will be calling up their reservists. He was talking about active listed reservists and said that there is no need for a general mobilization. But this was interesting because it's the first time that we've really heard President Zelensky talk about Ukrainian military response. He then went on to address focusing on the importance of what he calls economic patriotism and says that the focus needs to remain on investing in the Ukrainian economy. But apart from Zelensky's response, Sean and Lindsay, many people in Kyiv tonight are really keeping their eye on the Biden administration and what their response is. Everyday Ukrainians, they really do care about US support. Take a listen to this lady that I spoke to earlier.
President Joe Biden, first of all, don't forget, we trust you, we believe in your country, especially you promise us to give us help, and we're waiting for your help. Don't forget about our country and keep your words.
And in response to that speech from Biden earlier, I was picking up food from a restaurant earlier as he was making that speech. And I looked around me and there were 3 occupied tables in there and they were all doing the exact same thing as I was. They were watching that speech live on their phone. And this was just incredible, an incredible sight for me because the previous day when Putin was speaking, I was also in a public space and not a single person there batted an eyelid. When I was watching it and people walked past and saw that I was watching Putin on my phone, on my laptop, nobody cared. But tonight, Biden's live speech was front and center on the people here in Kyiv. That was all that they were talking about. So it really has been a big moment for people here in Ukraine.
Well, Sarah, I know you're working around the clock. Thank you for all the reporting that you're doing to keep us informed. Really appreciate it.